Ooh, check it out. I'm cool, man. I've got some Sharpie on my hand because I went to a show. Those of you who are FJ aficionados will know that's how I started a video, more or less, in March or April, the early days, the simpler days, when I had gone to a show downtown with this chick I liked, and she never really talked to me afterwards, so whatever. That's irrelevant. But tonight, I went to another show, but, ooh, B. That's a B if you didn't know. What could B stand for? Oh, that's right, my frisky ponies. It stands for band. Because I didn't just go to a show. I was in the band. I was in one of the bands. There was 6 bands playing. It was incredible. And believe it or not, this is an auspicious moment. Am I even using that word right? This was the first real gig I've ever played. I've talked about on this channel before how it's it had been for a long time one of my dreams to be a musician. So at the age of 31, I've finally performed at it wasn't that great of a venue, but it was a venue, a legit venue. The only shows I've played before were ones that I organized. Basically, it was like at a church or someone's Halloween party or something. Or a church Halloween party. So tonight it was like at a real place with the sound guy and strangers watching. It was like this small, kind of gritty, divey bar that had a basement where there was like a little performing area. Nothing too big. The way that I got this gig is actually my sister, my little sister. I'm so proud of her. She got this gig because she writes music and she does like kind of a piano, pop rock, singer-songwriter deal. She needed a backing band, so she got me and my brothers, and so we backed her up, and I was on guitar. I was on my trusty Epiphone Casino right here. And we were the second band that played out of 6 bands, as I said. Now, the first band that went, you might say, you know how sometimes you get up after someone else has gone on before you and say, wow, you're a hard act to follow. I would actually say for this band that went before us, man, you are a easy act to follow. You stunk up the joint. They weren't bad. They weren't like untalented, but they just weren't good. They did this kind of like rap, rock style. And this was the other thing. I said, my sister's like in the singer-songwriter genre. So we were like, we had a lot of melody going on and stuff. Every other band that played was like punk, kind of a hard edge to it. We were a little out of place. But I think that was also a good thing because it made us stand out. So the first band, the front man, the singer, he must have been drunk or something. He introduced his bandmates literally in between every song. And it was like he didn't remember that he had introduced them before. So after every song, he would go, that's Jimmy on drums, and then that's Pablo on the turntables. And it's like, dude, you're wasting our time. We know who they are. We know it's Pablo on the turntable. Do you think he changed his name in between songs? I don't think so. And he was also really foul-mouthed. Like, I can take a little bit of profanity, but this guy was like, oh. He kept saying, if you F with our music, except he said the real word. He was like, hey man, if you F with our music, then, sing along or get to know us, get our merch or whatever. And I'd never heard the F word used that way. Usually when you say, if you F with something, if you F with our music, the implication would be, hey, if you screw around with our music, if you pirate our music, if you diss our music. But he meant it like more, if you gel with our music, if you jive with our music, if you like it. It made no sense. So that's what I'm going to start saying now. Hey, if you effed with this video, give it a like. And people are going to be really confused. They're not going to know what I'm talking about. But I'll know. And that guy will know also. The other thing was, before his first song, he started off like, man, I've had an effed up day. I've had an S day. Because, man, I was recording this album with this producer. I recorded this great song. And he laid down a sick beat. And, but then it got blocked because he didn't clear the samples. But the thing is, his story was a lot longer than mine right now. So he went on for this, like, you're burning stage time. None of us know who you are. We don't care. Literally, no one in the audience knew who they were because they were an out of town band. They were the opener. And here he is regaling us like we're his therapist or something. I don't just play your songs. Let me F with your music because I don't care about your life. Person I don't know. I don't even know your name because you keep introducing the drummer and the turntable guy and I don't know who you are. Yeah, anyway, so I'm glad they went first because I effed with their music so much, they effed with their own music so much that literally any act could have followed them and it would have been an improvement. You could have had, I don't know, take your pick, name who you want. They would have, they really set the stage well for us. This was at a bar and I didn't drink. Hooray for me. I'm still going. The only bad thing about not drinking is I'm saving a lot of calories, so I'm going to eat some cake. It's not smart, you know? I'm going to just make up the calorie deficit of the alcohol with a bunch of cake that my mommy made. So I can't complain though. And wash it down with some coffee here at 11:30 at night. Going back really quick, in a way, that guy regaling us with the tale of his music getting blocked is sort of like what I do on this channel all the time, except you know who I am and you sort of care. You sort of F with my vlogs, if you will. I didn't know who this guy was. None of us did. Nor did we care. I still... While I'm drinking my coffee at 11:30 at night, let us stop for a quick commercial break. Damn two-type Timmy! Check me out! You thought I was gone or something? You thought maybe I was dead? You gotta be kidding me, man. You don't even know who I am. Look, I'm crowd surfing. Yeah, I'm so great. I'm on top of these jokers' heads. Yeah, man. I'm not going nowhere. I'm like that guy from high school that you're glad that you graduated because you can get away from him, but then 12 years later you see him walking down the neighborhood, down the sidewalk. That's me. That's two-type Timmy. Look, I'm on his head. Yeah! Rock out! So we started setting up, man. And it's such a small space that every band had all their equipment off to one side of the room. And there were 6 bands, so there's a lot of stuff. So as one band is taking their stuff off, we've got to kind of slip in and start setting up our stuff. And we have 15 minutes to do it. We got in there, we did it. And I was sort of nervous, but to be honest with you, on the way to the gig, the thing I was most nervous about was not getting up in front of people and performing, but it was actually all the logistics around getting there. It was in a part of town I wasn't familiar with, a place I'd never been before. I had to find street parking. Then the street parking was like 2-hour limit, so I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get a ticket. And then you go into the venue and it's like, oh, before you get there, it's like, what is this gonna be like? How do I set up my stuff? Is this gonna go right? The actual performing part, I was like, who cares about that? I just need to know, can I find a parking space? I did, right across the street from the venue, lucky me. So we set up our stuff, and actually there was a lot of people there who came for us because my sister is sort of the opposite of me and has a lot of friends. Also, a lot of people came for my brother because people like him. But and for my other brother too. There was no one who was there just for me, Out in the audience, there were a lot of, good-looking chicks. None of them talked to me afterwards, unfortunately. But I wasn't looking too much at the audience because I was really scared. So I just kind of let me show you. The way I played was kind of just so I was off to the side. Imagine the wall is right here. My sister's on the other side. So I'm kind of just this is kind of how I played. Not really looking at the audience. That's sort of like almost a Kurt Cobain way of playing, like really hunched over, like that. Anyway, I don't know if you could hear anything I just said. It went great. My sister is incredibly talented. One of her songs is so good. I want to learn it and play it for you all because I have it stuck in my head like all the time. The audience really loved her music and her performance. Now, the special treat and why I named this video what I did is because when we were rehearsing this stuff, my sister was like, we have room for one more song in the set. What should we do? Maybe we should do a cover. And so, just as a joke, I started playing, Helter Skelter. Turn out, go for a ride, till I get to the bottom and I'll see you again. Yeah. Anyway, so my sister was like, yeah, let's do that. And I was like, that was a joke. I didn't mean for us to do that. So we played Helter Skelter. It was really cool. It was like a dream come true to get to play one of my favorite Beatles songs. Not that poorly. You can't even see it. Look out, 'cause here she come. Enough showing off. Like I said, for years I had wanted to be a musician, and life somehow brings you around to doing the things you want to do, and sometimes a roundabout way that you didn't expect, because 10 years ago, when I was 21, I wouldn't have expected that my little sister, who was 11 at the time, would have been writing really good music that we'd be performing in front of a bunch of people. So the lesson to be taken away, I guess, is you just never know how life will give you the things that you want, or the things that you desire, the things that you aspire to do. They'll find a way of happening. So, yeah. Let's put a comment on the Friskiest Ponies wall. Why don't we? Let me find a comment, because I know there's been a few that have really stuck out to me. I probably need to do some more, because there's only 2 on there right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Helter Skelter. Yeah. So while I'm looking for a comment, the story behind Helter Skelter is Paul McCartney read in some music magazine that was it Pete Townsend or Roger Daltrey, one of the people in The Who, was like, man, this next single that The Who is coming out with, it's going to be the hardest, heaviest, dirtiest rock song you ever heard. And Paul McCartney, without even hearing the song, was like, nuh-uh, we are going to outdo them. So then he went into the studio and just made this, raucous, heavy rock song. And if you haven't ever heard Helter Skelter before, don't not listen to it because of my rendition. It's a really good song. Okay, here we go. You look like an Italian anarchist. Nice. Now that is what I'm talking about. If you F with my Italian anarchist look, smash like on this video. Can we get this video to 3 likes? Let's see if we can do it, guys. Can you even see the Frisky Pony thing? There we go. Ow. Look at this community. You can't even hear me, can you? Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that. See you next time. Stay cool and attractive.